Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Friday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and the blood is pumping. We are almost there. Another Steelers game day right around the corner. The past is the past. We are locked in on the future. Who the hell am I kidding? Yeah, it's nerve-wracking time. Steelers and Patriots coming up here on Sunday. Got a little bit more to discuss ahead of that game, just over 48 or under 48 hours away. Final injury reports, who is in and who is out for the Steelers and Patriots, we will discuss here in a matter of moments. Will any of it matter for the Steelers? Probably not. Offense probably still, going to do its thing. Might put up points, might not, and the defense will give up around 400 yards once again. On another note, we will talk after some Steelers talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins, day 2 of their 2025 training camp, just wrapping up a little bit ago. What happened in those practices, and an interesting couple of quotes from Penguins legend Evgeni Malkin. He discussed his future, first time really in a while that we've heard him discuss about his future in the organization. What did he say? We will talk about that as well, and any other extra news stories that we happen to come across along the way. First thing is first, before we officially get this show on the road, if you are new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Up to 547 subscribers on the channel, so I appreciate each and every one of you who have hit that little button up until this point. Another little button that you can hit, the like button. Smash that like button. Hit the share button as well, so we can get more viewership in here. And then, of course, leave your thoughts, questions, or opinions that you have in the comments section. Anything on your mind, we can pop it up on the screen just like this and interact that way. Also, feel free to go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And for tonight, ignore that second part. There will be no SCSR60 tonight. We're going to get to the weekend a little bit early, but we will be back here, of course, on Sunday, live for Steelers versus Patriots. Instant commentary and reactions to that game, like always. All right, now with all that out of the way, let's officially get things started here. And of course, we're going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I just pretty much said in the opening there, nerve-wracking time for this team. I know it's only week 3, but this is as close to a must-win game that you can have in week 3 if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers, because time's running short on your easier opening to the season. You've got teams that are very beatable, like the Jets and the Patriots, the Vikings, now that they're without a quarterback, the Cleveland Browns after the bye week. Coming up here, you're going to start playing some really tough games against elite opponents like the Buffalo Bills and Detroit Lions, and you got still all of your divisional games yet to play as well. So Steelers, they really got to put their foot on the pedal, and they are going to be in for a tough matchup this weekend, a team that they are historically bad against. That is the New England Patriots. Under the Mike Tomlin leadership, this Pittsburgh Steelers team 1-5 on the road against the Patriots with Tomlin at the helm. They are, I believe, 3-10 all time with Tomlin as head coach against the Patriots, and the Patriots coming into this matchup have won 8 of their past 9 against the Steelers. But a little bit of sliver of hope here. Mike Tomlin, 3-0 against Mike Vrabel, the new head coach of the New England Patriots. So will the history of Tomlin being notoriously bad, especially on the road against the Patriots, will that triumph once again? Or does Tomlin have a bit of a number read on Mike Vrabel, 3-0 against him in their respective head coaching careers? Before we get to Sunday's game, be sure to tune in live just before game time on Sunday's live stream. We will break down all the main storylines and key matchups in that game and so much more. Before we get to Sunday, final injury reports for both teams are out, ladies and gentlemen. And let me pop this up right here for you. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they will have 4 already inactives heading in to Sunday's game. And really, none of them are surprising, judging by their participation in practices this week. Looking at the list here, sucks. This list of players here just keeps on getting longer and longer as the weeks go on. So the injury bug getting the Steelers already early off the season. Let's start with the outs here. Joey Porter Jr., he will miss the second straight game for him, out with a hamstring injury. Tweaked his hamstring really, I think, in the first quarter of the Jets game. So I'm technically counting him as now missing 2 games in a row. Did not practice at all this week. That is not all that encouraging for, his status even heading into next week. And they're in Dublin against the Vikings. All of these guys out here right now, it makes you question, all right, if they don't play this week and you're not 100% that they are going to be ready to go against the Vikings, why risk it when you're going to have them going out of routine, taking a long flight across the pond to Dublin, and then they're going to have even shorter time to rehab and get better. So not looking good for these guys, not just for this week being out, but possibly you will not see any of these guys until after the bye week because of that Ireland game. So Porter did not practice at all this week. He is out. Deshaun Elliott and Alex Highsmith, they are out as well. Highsmith, he was rolled out at the beginning of the week. Elliott, just like Porter, was, I think Tomlin described it as questionable at best. So they were fighting an uphill battle heading into the week of practices, but they are now out. And then, of course, here, still on the injury report, though his season is over, offensive lineman Max Sharping tore his ACL on Wednesday, out for the season. Some others here, DK Metcalf and TJ Watt, those two were just resting. Same thing with Darius Slay, though. I thought I saw that he did tweak something in the Seahawks game. So I guess the resting, just a precautionary thing to maybe make sure he doesn't re-aggravate it early on in the week. Patrick Queen, full practice across the slate. Very positive sign for him. He was dealing with an oblique injury very valiantly, in my opinion, fought through that rest of that Seahawks game. He was one of those players like Highsmith, like Isaiah Loudermilk, who went down early, and he didn't miss a step. He only missed, I think, a drive or two, and then went back out there and fought through it. And then I mentioned all these other names except for this one here at the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. Derrick Harmon, first round pick this year, rookie defensive end out of Oregon. He, like Deshaun Elliott and Joey Porter Jr., one of those will leave the light on for them, but it's going to be really, really an uphill battle for him to play this upcoming weekend. Light practice on Wednesday, light practice on Thursday. This is when yesterday we were like, all right, light practicing again. I believe someone did the same thing the previous week and they did not play. No, it was week 1. Nick Herbig, he was light practices throughout the week and didn't get a helmet on game day in week 1. So Harmon, limited participant. Are like, all right, probably going to sit out. The most encouraging FP that you will probably ever see this year. Full participant today in practice. Derrick Harmon, a full go for the black and gold, and a good sign that he is questionable for this game coming up here on Sunday, and a good sign for him moving forward. If he did not play, if he was ruled out immediately for this weekend's game, I do not see how he was going to play next week, but questionable. Still wearing that big brace on his right knee, but from the videos that we've seen, looks pretty fluid, motion-wise here. So even if he is on a judicious snap count, like what defensive coordinator Terrell Austin said, they're going to be careful with him coming back from this injury. This is probably the biggest addition that this defense can get right now. They are struggling to stop the run and getting to the quarterback. Harmon can, I think, provide a spark in both of those departments, especially the run defense. So, very positive sign that he is questionable. Still, it's a matter of getting him to Sunday and seeing how he goes there. But going from limited participant to full participant and looking good out there on the practice field, even if we only see him for, who knows, 15 snaps, something like that, it'll be a very positive sign for this defense moving forward. As for the New England Patriots, getting into their final injury report just for a quick second, theirs is out as well. A big questionable for them as well. All-pro corner Christian Gonzalez. He has not played at all this year, has not practiced this year. Suffered a hamstring injury in the preseason. He, a limited participant throughout the week leading up to this game, including today. He is questionable for this weekend's game against the Steelers, and that is a massive matchup difference. I was going to have that and write it in pen as one of my top matchups heading into this weekend's game, Gonzalez versus DK Metcalf. I think Gonzalez has done well against Metcalf in the past. I think last year he held him to just 2 catches and 10 yards. If Gonzalez isn't out there, could be very beneficial for the Steelers and their passing attack. So Gonzalez, limited participant for the Patriots all throughout the week. He is questionable. Also questionable fullback Jack Westover and one of their former first-round picks. I believe he was a first-round pick. Or was he a second? He might have been a second-round pick. Keon White, former, I believe, Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket. I remember him. I think that was the Joey Porter Jr. Draft year and Broderick Jones year. The Patriots drafted him. He was out on Wednesday with an illness, but practiced in full the past 2 days, so he will probably play even though he is questionable. A couple other names on the Patriots injury report that do not have designations throughout the week. Some key defensive players: Christian Barmore, Carlton Davis, Caleb Von Chason, Harold Landry, Marte Mapu, excuse me. So that is the injury report heading into this weekend's game. Steelers, 4 outs: Highsmith, Elliott, Porter, Sharping, Derrick Harmon. A very optimistic questionable heading into this weekend. 10 of you in here right now, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. The comment section, it is blowing up here. Let's go to the comments. THP, Flacco, Concepts, some regular faces here, but looks like we got a New England Patriots fan in the chat here. Paper Waves, welcome, Paper. Even though you are the opposition, you are welcome here. Go Pats. Hope we both play a good game. That's all we ask for. I mean, I'm hoping my team, plays well. But when you go live and you watch this and you watch ugly ball, it is like so demoralizing, and it feels like I'm doing a disservice to all of you watching. Like, if you want to see me just like bleh, go watch my live stream from, I believe, last weekend in the Backyard Brawl. That was a slog of a game to go through. It was really, really hard. I apologize if it was bad content, but that's what we're hoping for here, Paperwaves. Just a good game. At least entertain us if the Steelers are going to lose here. A couple of other commenters here. Let's start with THP. Had to be up early and only caught 1/4 of the Bills versus Finns. But my final 31-16 score wasn't far-fetched. Saw Tua interception, 3 minutes left. Down a tutty. Yep. I do not see how the Dolphins are going to remain together. Like, I'm watching that game last night, kind of like how over the course of the Mike Tomlin era, Gillette Stadium has been a house of horrors for the Steelers. Highmark Stadium up there in Buffalo for the Dolphins. That is just bad juju ground for them. They cannot win up there. And the Dolphins, I have no idea how the hell they remain together for this long. Mike McDaniel, he's probably going to get canned. Tua, they might be moving on from him in the offseason. Tyreek Hill is probably going to, get traded here soon. Minka Fitzpatrick, he's probably going to, want out of there, which I kind of wondered that as well last night, watching Minka out there. I think he made a nice tackle for loss. I'm like, wonder if the Steelers could have used him by now. But then, hey, he's a part of that, of why that team is 0-3. So thought of those things and how the Dolphins, they are probably just going to get torn down in the offseason if they even make it to that point. THP also called Colts 9 wins week 1 in the chat. Oh, baby, Danny Dimes. Hey, I'm coming. I'm hopping on the Danny Dimes train, at least for 1 week. On one of my fantasy teams, I think I had JJ McCarthy and Joe Burrow as my quarterbacks. McCarthy is out, Burrow out. I'm hoping McCarthy can come back from his injury. Well, not till the Steelers are done playing the Vikings, but I hope he comes back sooner rather than later. Danny Dimes went and picked him up off the scrap heap, put him in as my starting quarterback. So hoping that whatever Peyton Manning-esque magic he's got going, that he continues it. Flacco in the comment section here. Flacco again, we need JPJ and Deshaun back ASAP. Yeah, really sounds like it, the way that this defense is going. I mean, with those two out of the lineup, there is not a single person, starting wise, or that, gets reasonable playing time that was here last year. I mean, Porter and Elliott, they were the two constants, guys who played here last year. Without them, you got all new guys: Slay, Ramsey, Eccles, Thornhill, Clark, Peppers. Yeah, so they need to come back, not necessarily for their play and production first, and play and production from them. It's good, but first and foremost, you need to get them back to steady the communication on that back end. THP again. Gonzalez is the last best pick from Bill. He's a game changer. Yeah, and if he does not play here on Sunday, that is going to be a huge miss for the Patriots, and that's going to be advantage Steelers, hopefully, with DK Metcalf going up against their second option, maybe a Carlton Davis or something like that. But I think he's mainly a slot guy. Too many impact players injured. I hated the week 5 bye when it was announced, but maybe it's actually a good thing. Who knows? Yeah, week 5 bye, that could be probably a blessing that we originally thought was a curse, because let's say the Steelers, let's say that they go 500 in these next 2 games. They either win one against the Patriots or Vikings, and they lose one. That bye week coming back, nope, you're not going home. You're not going out of town for a couple of days. No, you're staying here in Pittsburgh, because we got some things to figure out offensively, running the ball more effectively, polishing our routes and getting open as pass catchers, making sure that the offensive line continues to get better communicating wise. Defense, you got to improve on everything, and you're going to have guys hopefully coming back off of injury. Deshaun Elliott might be back by that time. Alex Highsmith, high ankle sprain, but less severe than what we thought. He could be coming back. Joey Porter Jr. will probably be fully healthy and ready to go by then. So, yeah, the bye week 5 bye, chance to get healthy and reset whatever the hell went wrong in the first 4 weeks. So that is, going to be probably a bigger help than it is, an issue. But hey, we're at least hoping, the 18-game NFL season will be coming up here before we know it, and then that will add in another bye week. So this conversation we're having might be a mute point here in a couple of years. Paper waves again. Pat's had everyone at practice, including Gonzo. He's been there all week with the starters. Gonzo, that is. Yeah, but the thing is, I'm not sure how the Patriots do it their paper waves, but Steelers, we've had now, I think, on a couple of occasions already this year, where if you're a light participant in all three practices leading up to the weekend game, not 100%, you're actually more likely leaning towards out than you are in. So Gonzalez as a limited participant. Another question with that is, do you really want to push him? And also, do you have enough faith in your team, in your defense, in that defensive back room? You're going up against, quite frankly, a Steelers team that has one legitimate outside receiving threat in DK Metcalf, and then the Steelers are going to be running 12 personnel a bunch of times. So can you rely on maybe your linebackers to do some pass covering to great effect throughout the game? And if you just double up DK Metcalf, that frees up the rest of your secondary to maybe one-on-one with the likes of Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson and things like that. So that's a couple of questions that the Patriots, I'm sure, are asking themselves. Do we think we can win this game and shut down just one high-end receiver in DK Metcalf without Gonzalez? And do we really want to, he was just a light participant. Do we want to push him and put him in a, real live action game without having him be a full participant in practice? We will see here. Concepts again, how different do you think this offense would be if Kyle Juszczyk signed here instead of going back to San Fran? Weird hypothetical, but just curious. I don't know if it really does make a difference, because Steelers haven't really gone with any fullback sets. I mean, they've had Jonnu Smith in the backfield a time or two, and they've ran Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren in the backfield at the same time. Just thinking of Juszczyk's skill set here. He's more of a pass catcher than he is a runner, and then way more of a runner than he is a pass protector. I think you can get those characteristics out of Jalen Warren already. Warren, just as good of a pass catcher, in my opinion. Same thing with Kenny Gainwell as Juszczyk is. In the Steelers, they haven't gone with much, big jumbo personnels with the need of a fullback. And it's not like they've handed it off to Jonnu Smith or anything like that already this year. So might have had a couple of wrinkles in it, but overall, not that much difference, in my opinion. Flacco, LOL. I'm from New England. I live in Tampa Bay. Grew up in Miami, but I'm a Steeler fan. Man, you're bouncing all over the place. So you're riding low with the Dolphins. You're riding high future-wise, at least, with the Patriots, and then you're sort of stuck in the mushy middle with the Steelers. Kind of describes the entire tenure of Mike Tomlin. Concepts again here. Let's go crazy and trade for Minka, Tyreek, and Dexter Lawrence. Screw the future. All right. I want to break those down into three things. One, trading for Minka, not going to be possible. I think there's a rule in the NFL where you cannot trade back for a player you traded within 2 years. So you're going to have to wait till 2027 to see Minka in the black and gold again, unless, of course, the Dolphins cut him. Then he is free to sign with whoever. Tyreek Hill, I mean, Steelers are reportedly out on Hill, but who's to say another couple bad performances from the receiving core, Steelers might get desperate and say, hey, I mean, we are bad outside the numbers right now. Let's go get this guy. I mean, sure, he's a bit of a headache off the field with all the stuff he's going through, but we'll figure that out when we get there. And then the Dexter Lawrence one, that's something new. I saw someone mention that today, but I don't know exactly what it's about, getting Dexter Lawrence from the Giants. Can you convince the Giants to take Keanu Benton and like a third round pick? Because I'm not getting rid of a, top 2 round pick for anyone right now, because this team still needs a quarterback for the future. So Dexter Lawrence, sexy Dexy, would interest me. It would intrigue me. He's one of those guys that I think Mike Tomlin always hypes up when the Steelers play them. Jamal McCollum in here. Welcome back, Jamal. What up? What up? Flacco. Like and subscribe, folks. He got the message right there. THP, big Drake May guy, but Steelers should beat this team. Patriots lack the weapons on both sides. Yeah, kind of. They're in that same boat. It's going to be on the quarterback battle because the Patriots, I mean, yeah, they got Stephon Diggs, but who else do they have pass catching wise? I legitimately don't know. They got Hunter Henry at tight end, but yeah, I mean, they released Kendrick Bourne too. I do not know that much about the Patriots eligibles, as Mike Tomlin likes to call them. Paperweight still got Carlton Davis, Marcus Jones on the back end as well. Yeah, I mean, that might be a recipe for success for the Patriots without Christian Gonzalez. Just double up DK, let your guys go man to man with the other Steelers wide receivers. I think you can put a linebacker on Pat Freiermuth. Jonnu Smith might warrant, a defensive back covering him, but nothing too intimidating so far there yet. This is going into half until we start spending. We will stay just okay as it looks week 2. Yeah, Patriots allowed Reek 100 plus. He's had only 5 games, 80 plus yards in 19 games. Think about that. The last 19 games. Yeah. Watching Tyreek Hill last night, especially the touchdown that he caught from Tua Tagovailoa. Watching that, I think, what was that, the opening drive? No, it was later in the ball game. Tua, timing route with Tyreek Hill. Hill broke it off at the exact right time. That is something that I think Aaron Rodgers would excel at. He loves those timing routes, being in sync with his wide receivers. If Tyreek Hill is doing stuff like that still, if he gets a little bit of chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, I think that could be a hell of a duo. Even though he's a veteran, probably lost a step as the cheetah, still, though, could be 10 times better than what Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson and the rest of the wide receiver group is producing right now. Concepts here, Raiders need to keep losing so Jacoby can become a Steeler. Yes, I know I'm delusional. Yeah, man, that was really just put away for later talk about. I mean, we've jumped, wide receiver to wide receiver so much over the offseason. I sort of forgot about Jacoby Myers. He was like a 2-day thing, but still, though, the Raiders keep losing. It could be a realistic thing. Who knows? PHP definitely, and Tyreek is going to be dealt. Motivation is a hell of a drug. Yeah. Only thing is, are the Chiefs going to come calling for him too? They're 0-2 right now, and Patrick Mahomes could use another pass catcher with Rashee Rice suspended and Xavier Worthy injured right now. Hill could go back home, I think, before he thinks about joining the Steelers. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put a pause here in the Steelers talk just for a couple of minutes. Do appreciate all the different commenters, THP, Concepts, Flacco, Paper Waves, Jamal, all of you guys. I do appreciate it. And please come back on Sunday. Going to have a big stream here for Steelers versus Patriots. But now we are going into some hockey talk. Pittsburgh Penguins hockey is back, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, they started their 2025 training camp, had a practice, had a couple of interesting press conferences from GM and President of Hockey Operations Kyle Dubas and new head coach Dan Muse. On to day 2 today. We do have a bit more to talk about. Before practice began today, had a couple of injured players working their way back. Bottom 6 forward Noel Acciari. Honestly, I both respect Acciari's gameplay, but also am still confused as hell why he's here. Acciari, just a 4th line grinder, penalty kill, block a shot any way you can guy, but he just seems like a guy that the Penguins, could offload very easily in favor of younger guys. So Achari, he's working his way back from core muscle surgery. Also working his way back from injury, Tanner Howe, prospect forward, second-round pick from a couple of years ago. He and Achari, the vet and the youngster, out there shooting the puck around before practice, getting out there on the ice. Tanner Howe, by the way, very easy number to pick him out by, wearing number 9. So, Howe 9 back on the ice. What year is it? Going back quite a ways into the 1900s. On to practice itself today for the Penguins. Group B, they practiced first today at 8:45. Group 3, they practiced at 11:30, and then Group 1 at 2 o'clock. Amongst Group B, or Group 2, who practiced today, that was the Evgeni Malkin, Chris Letang group with a bunch of new guys. Some notes from that session. We did see a lineup, a new line that honestly could be something that you see in the regular season. You got Heinen, Malkin, and Mantha line. So pair Gino with a nice power forward like Anthony Mantha. Then you got Danton Heinen. That could be a solid line, in all honesty, when you get to the regular season. Though, I think to make that line better, you sub in Heinen with like a Ville Koivunen or another, sniper type winger. Because you got Malkin, the play facilitator who's going to get you into the zone. You got Mantha who's going to go and get down and dirty, below the goal line and in front of the net. Having a sniper on that line, that seems like it would complete a very well-rounded line for the black and gold. So thought that was interesting. Also in Group 2 today, apparently Caleb Jones, brother of Stanley Cup champion Seth Jones, he's now at the Penguins, was a free agent signing. He had a solid camp day today. Might be a 7th defenseman or bottom pairing D-man, but could be a nice depth piece for this team throughout the year. On to the afternoon practice. That was Group 3, featuring Brian Rust and Ricard Raquel and the young goaltenders. Couple of interesting lines there as well. A nice youngster line here. Avery Hayes, Sam Poulin, and Ben Kindle. 2 former first-round picks in Poulin and Kindle. And then you have Avery Hayes, who I believe was an undrafted free agent signing, but he has turned into quite the prospect for the Pens. That could be a solid line in the AHL before too long. Hopefully we get to see that unit get some work in a preseason game coming up here soon. But another interesting line that they had there in practice for Group 3. And I know it's just training camp here, so we're not going to take too much stock into them. But Brian Rust and Ricard Raquel, still line mates. Centering them was not, anybody that you would expect. It wasn't like a Connor Dewar. Well, he was out today. Wasn't, anybody like Robbie Fabry or Kevin Hayes. He too did not practice today. It was Philip Hollander, was once a pretty known prospect for the Pens, and then I think injuries and being stuck in the AHL have halted his development into the NHL. But getting a shot with Ricard Raquel and Brian Rust, the kid with the 2 veterans, be intriguing to maybe watch that play out in a preseason game. Last thing here from Group 3's session, that was at noon today. Avery Hayes, Sam Poulin sticking together in 3-on-3 drills. They, with Matt Dumba, dominated the 3-on-3 portion of practice. So that was nice to hear. As I mentioned in that Group 3 practice in the afternoon, Kevin Hayes got knocked out of practice yesterday, took a hit from Ryan Graves, left practice early. He was not out there practicing today. Same thing with Connor Dewar, but Dewar, he was not injured. He instead got transferred over to Group 1, Una Koppanen from Group 1, now with Group 3. So wonder what inspired those two swapping groups. Speaking of Group 1, they wrapped up the practices today at 2 o'clock, and going to show you guys this right here. Probably the least surprising Penguins news that you're going to hear. Sidney Crosby is still Sidney Crosby. Right here today at practice for the Black and Gold, still looking like he can go out there and dominate a game, take it over whenever he wants. Hopefully, that kid right there, who you just saw have quite the reaction, Ville Koivunen. I so want to see him and Sid on a line together if Sid isn't playing with Raquel and Rust, because talk about Koivunen following maybe a Jake Gensel type career path, getting to learn along Sid and developing your skills to maybe levels that we could not have predicted before. But Crosby, man, still unbelievable. He is, and I think will be the Tom Brady of hockey, where he can go out there and play till he's 45 if he really wants to. Just wrapping up here from the Group 1 practice, which was in the afternoon. Koivunen and Crosby on 5-on-5. Those two were together again with Justin Brazeau. And then still the young kid defensive pairing, Harrison Brunick and Owen Pickering. Love that pairing. Want to see them out there in the preseason. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. Could be the top pairing for this Penguins group. Maybe 2-3 years from now, and it could remain that way for maybe a decade. High potential among those two. So excited to see where they go after practice. Today for the Pens, heard from head coach Dan Muse again. We got an injury update on Kevin Hayes. Hayes out with an upper body injury, according to Muse. They will reevaluate that injury in about a month. So a very serious upper body injury, obviously. He will not be ready for the regular season. So a hole opening up on the Pens' bottom two lines for a center absolutely sucks. Kevin Hayes had to go down like that, and people really probably going to start pointing fingers more at Ryan Graves. First day of practice, and you knock out one of your teammates for a month. So that sucks for Hayes. More on Dan Muse, new Penguins head coach, after practice today. Did not have a voice, really. I think the media there said his voice was very hoarse, and for good reason. He is establishing what sounds to be one hell of a culture in Pittsburgh. Said, quote, "You see practice the last 2 days. It's crazy hard. I like it. Players, they seem to like it." We heard from, I think, Brian Rust and Ricardo Raquel and Eric Carlson and those guys yesterday. They said it was one of their harder first days of practices in years. Some other guys today giving a vote of approval for Dan Muse, and that was Evgeni Malkin. He said, talking about the crazy hard practice, "We need that. Young guys, veteran guys, we need to work together. I like what I see." So, man, I had questions about the Dan Muse hiring. Then when that news broke that he was going to be the Pens, we broke it down. I got on board with his hiring then. Then, sort of got cold feet thinking about what this team's going to do this year. But the way he's coaching and the way he is showing a hard work mindset and excellent leadership through 2 days of practice, he's going to have those guys. They may not win, but damn it, they're going to be a hard fighting team that is going to be fun to watch. So I like that. Malkin, by the way, he was the other big topic today besides the practices. Spoke afterwards about his future with the Penguins. First time that we have heard from Gino about his future with the Penguins in quite some time. And a couple of interesting quotes here. First off, Gino said that he does want to stay here in Pittsburgh. He said that this could be his last year. And if he has a good season, he would entertain coming back for one more. His quote here, "If it's my last year here, I had 20 years played here. Not bad too, I'm glad to be with the Penguins. I'm glad to win 3 Stanley Cups here. But again, if I have a chance to play next year, I'm good. So Gino wants to play another year if he has a good year. Hopefully it's here in Pittsburgh. But if that is not the case, and that meeting between Kyle Dubas and Gino with his representation at the Olympic break, if that doesn't, go well, and Gino still feels like he's got some good hockey left in him, but the Penguins aren't going to bring him back, Gino said that he'd consider waiving his no trade clause. Did not say, or he said he addressed his no trade clause. I'm not saying that he said he would consider waiving it, but he did bring up a interesting scenario. His quote here: "It's hard, but again, we see a story like with Brad Marchand looking good, but again, if the team trades you and you win the cup, it's like a little bit weird too, So Gino, if the Penguins look to trade him, he's citing the Brad Marchand trade from this past year, where he waives his no trade clause, gets moved to a division rival, and wins a Stanley Cup. Gino not ruling out that could be a possibility. So we'll see what happens. Ultimately, I think I put Gino in the same boat as Sid, though not to the biggest degree of Sid. Keep him happy. Keep him in Pittsburgh. Let him retire a pen. Just let that core three, Gino, Tanger, Malkin, go out together. Or Gino, Tanker, Sid, go out together. But, hey, who knows? Malkin not ruling anything out, and I don't think the Penguins are either. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the program, let's go back to the comment section real quick. A couple more here. THP, concepts again. Would Dalton Reisner be an upgrade over Suomalo? I appreciate the content. I don't know much about Reisner, to be honest. We discussed that on the channel a little bit, but unfortunately, that conversation pretty much does not matter. Dalton Reisner is off the market. He signed with the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of weeks ago. I would have loved bringing him in, not so much, as a upgrade or replacement for Isaac Seumalo, but if a second-year, fifth-round pick in Mason McCormick struggled, I would have loved to have that awesome depth at the interior of the offensive line, but now he's with the Bengals, so I believe it was Kanye who said it. I guess we'll never know. Would have loved to have him, but we'll never know if he would have replaced Seumalo. Flacco, I'll be here. Game day streams are awesome. I appreciate that, Flacco, as always. Patriots have owned the Steelers. Al the Prowl in the comment section. Welcome back, Al. Steeler fan, but not a Penguin fan, but I love hockey. Hey, that's all right. Actually, today, did a little bit of work. Brace your ears, maybe. We got the probably going to go live. Not sure how many Penguins games I will go live for this year, but will at least be live for opening night against the Rangers. We got today the Penguins goal horn graphic put into the system here today, so apologize if this is loud. Music to our ears. Music to our ears. Penguins hockey right around the corner. Al the Proud, Montreal fan. Oh, so you're one of the Montreal fans who I'm sure is giddy at every single unrealistic report you see about Sid to the Canadians. Okay, Al, I see you here. I see you. Yeah, it has to be loud. Yeah, it does, but I just worry about folks out there who have the earbuds in. Like, even I'm wearing these and I could hear that it's pretty loud, but I just worry about blowing people's ears out and having them mad at me. So that's why I asked that. Living here in New England, hate the Bruins and hate the Pats. Wow. So you're a Bostonian, but you hate the sports teams. I'm not sure how that works, but hey, that's hilarious. Are you a Celtics fan or a Red Sox fan? Or do you just like live in Boston but couldn't care less about the sports teams? That's an interesting dynamic. Freight Train and Flacco talking about their their competition thing they were a part of. Has to be loud. Concepts again here. I think the majority of the fan base is understated the impact of losing Elliott and JPJ. It does somewhat explain the communication and gap issues. What's your thought on that? Yeah, very obvious. Losing Elliott and JPJ. You're talking about losing pretty much the only two guys who were not only here last year, but are fully, equipped for what the defensive scheme is. Because, I mean, think about it. Corey Trice Jr., he's never healthy. James Pierre's a practice squad guy. Beanie Bishop, he got cut and is on the practice squad. Porter is out. Elliott's out. All new guys on the defense. So the, gap issues in communication, that is very evident by losing them. But for still the highest paid defense in the NFL by a lot, even when you subtract the salaries of guys who are injured, it's very hard to excuse those kinds of mishaps. They said it was the highest level of competition in the country for regionals. Okay, Freight Train still talking about that. Still love that the community we've built here is connecting people. Love it. Al the Prowl, Celtics, yes. Everyone else, no. Okay. If I had to, I don't really watch the NBA, but if I had to pick an NBA team to hop on a bandwagon with, because they're close and there's also a little bit of Pittsburgh ties, Pat McAfee and all that, I would be an Indiana Pacers fan, I think. Also big Tyrese Halliburton guy. Or something about the Orlando Magic gets to me. They just seem like a cool team that you can follow and also be in pain with because they seem like they don't do well all that often. So there's a ton of Steelers fans here. Well, I mean, there's a ton of Steelers fans everywhere. Biggest fan base worldwide. And that's a fact. I don't think that you can calculate that, but I think it's Steelers are way up there in terms of a worldwide fan basage. Freight Train again down here. 75% of the stadiums is Steelers fans when they come to town. Charlotte. Well, I think that's just the Panthers. Honestly, if you're not a team that has had a big lineage of history, or have just crazy diehard fans, then yeah, the road team is going to take over your stadium, especially in these big markets like Jets and Giants and the LA teams and Charlotte. I think it's even a big market city. Fans of football teams, they got better things to do than to go watch a below 500, around 500 football team. Al the Prowl again. Steeler fans, it's 1974. That's awesome there, Al. Cowboys fans are the worst. So yeah, you're still of that generation where the Cowboys, they are still on the most hated list, even beside or possibly above teams like the Ravens or Browns. I'm going to be honest, still, Cowboys, just because they're the Cowboys, you could, dislike them strongly already. But I think just because my generation, younger generation, we weren't around back when it was the Steelers and Cowboys as the two top dogs year in, year out. So Ravens, Browns, Bengals, even though we own the Browns, and then Cowboys. And then below that, I think I go Philly for hated teams. Ravens and the Browns, LOL, they aren't fooling me. Yeah, Ravens and Browns, they're the top two. Bengals, they're just factory of sadness. Joe Burrow's out for them. Hate the Raiders too. Yeah, Raiders as well. Tell you what, the heatedness for me that Christmas Eve night a couple of years ago on Franco Harris's number retirement ceremony. I'll tell you what, I felt like that I was a part of the rivalry back then, because that one needed to be won for Franco. I was a Whaler fan turned Penguin. That's awesome. A couple of Whaler Penguin connections there. Ron Francis, a couple others I'm forgetting about. Maybe Jim Rutherford as well. Flacco F the Ravens. Yeah, you're probably the biggest Raven hater in among everybody in here, Flacco. I can just say the word Raven and you're typing that in. You've done that more than a handful of times. Had to have been the first going into the windshield. Had all steps communication perfect on the first two events. Sounds like you did get screwed there, Freight Train. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here of the program. Once again, if you are new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for our 547 subscribers. So if you are here right now and you're watching this and have not subscribed yet, let's maybe see if within the last 15 minutes or so of the program here, if we can get to 550 maybe. And then that'll set us up for a big game day stream on Sunday. In the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day, we got a couple of Steeler ones and then a couple of Pirate ones, so not that much. On the Steelers note, yesterday we kicked off the show talking about a bunch of ugly stats for the Steelers. Well, that was 2 days ago we talked about that and how they are bottom of the league in a ton of different statistical categories. But this one here I saw today from the Steel Here podcast, and I have no idea if I mentioned this on Tuesday or not. The Steelers, we mentioned missed tackles, broken tackles. That is one of their biggest issues so far this year. They were one of the best teams at wrapping up players and taking them down and not missing tackles last year. This year, though, dead last. Entering into week 3, so 2 games. And according to this, 28 missed tackles by the Steelers. In 2 games, 28 missed tackles. 14 missed tackles a game. My goodness, that is just terrible. I had no idea if I mentioned that on Tuesday, but that is just such a damning stat that it's crazy to see. I don't even see, who the second to last team is here, but I bet you the Steelers are a hell of a lot further behind them. So thought that was crazy. One guy who I'm sure is not helping in the tackling department all that well because of he just gets blown off the line of scrimmage every single time he lines up there. Keanu Benton playing nose tackle still. None of us know why. Clearly gets outmatched there against the lineman he's going up against. He spoke today on if he feels comfortable at nose tackle, to which he said, quote, "I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be. Wherever God put me and wherever I can get a helmet at is where I'm supposed to be." Good quote there, Benton. You're saying all the good things there, where you're supposed to be, putting your trust in God here, but please figure it out. That's all I'm asking here. Let's figure it out here because we cannot have the nose tackle getting, like a blocking sled pushed back into our middle linebackers here, and that's what it is helping into the defense getting gashed in the run every single time. So please, Benton, let's figure it out. Maybe a guy who can help you out there, learning how to play nose tackle, even though he was more of a defensive end. Brett Kiesel. He's the last Steelers extra sports story here for the day. Happy birthday to him today. So Fear to Beard, another year older. Happy birthday. How old is he? Somewhere in his 40s, probably. But happy birthday to the Beard. Just an awesome, gentle giant who was an absolute menace out on the football field. Wrapping up the extra Pittsburgh sports news here for the day. Just going to run through the Pittsburgh Pirate news here for a second. They're about to begin a 3-game series. I think this is their third to last series of the season. So baseball winding down quicker and quicker here, and then it'll be pretty much solely just Penguins and Steelers content here on the channel for a few months. Lineup tonight for the Bucks, their first game of 3 at home against the Athletics. Again, still so damn hard for me not to say Oakland. Jared Triolo leads off at third base. Spencer Horwitz at first base. Brian Reynolds in right. Andrew McCutchen DH. O'Neal Cruz in center. Nick Gonzalez not at second base tonight. He is playing shortstop. So a look at a new position for Nick Gonzalez here tonight. Jack Sawinski in left. Nick York at second. Henry Davis catches. Mitch Keller is on the bump, so we'll see whether we get Jekyll Keller or Hyde Keller tonight. Will he put out another quality start where he only gives up a run, or will he get hit all over the yard early and often? We will see. If you want to, instead of watching the Bucks probably lose to the Athletics because they are just as bad, if not worse than them, you could go watch a team affiliated with the Pirates that actually is winning. It starts here in 5 minutes. I believe you got to go to minorleaguebaseball.com to watch the game. Game 3 of the Eastern League semifinals at the AA level, a winner-go-home game tonight between the Altoona Gerv and the Erie Seawolves. Connor Griffin against Kevin McGonnell, the top two position players, I believe, in the MLB pipeline. So that should be an interesting game to watch. Curve, I think they won game 1, but then lost game 2. So we'll see what happens here in 5 minutes if they can move on to the finals. Connor Griffin and Esmeralyn Valdez, they've been the powerhouse guys for that team. But a guy who is not in the lineup tonight, a surprise scratch, Tamar Johnson. I believe he is the second best player prospect in the Buck system. Not in the lineup for tonight for Altoona, and it's not injury related. And I think I saw someone put out there maybe a video of Johnson ratchet jawing with the Erie Seawolves dugout after he thought he hit a home run, but it was a foul ball, and the Curve was losing 6-1 at that time. So interesting choice there. Let's see if the Curve can get it done. Last two extra Pirates topics here for the day. We mentioned, I think earlier this week, Paul Skeens. He was named the Roberto Clemente Award nominee for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He received that award today and named the team MVP. Skeens was also given the Steve Blass Award by the Pirates for the team's top pitcher. So couldn't have been, within the past 10 years of Pirates baseball, a more obvious choice for each of those two awards. Team MVP and top pitching award. Skeens, he can be, I'm sure if you were to let him hit, he could probably win the team's top hitter as well for how bad the lineup's been for this team this year. So no surprise there. Congratulations to Skeens. He is the first pitcher, by the way, to win both of those awards, team MVP and the Steve Blass Award, since the introduction of those awards in 2012. So congratulations to Skeens. And the last Pirate news story here for the day, talking about a pitcher once again. This guy probably a fan favorite back when, going back about 3-4 years ago when the Pirates were still in the dead middle of this rebuild, having a bunch of nobodies on the team. This guy here, short stint as a Pirate pitcher, but today he announced his retirement from baseball. Will Crow, former Bucco, I believe he was a starter and then he transitioned into the bullpen or vice versa, something like that. But congratulations to him on his MLB career. And I think that is going to do it today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take one more scroll here through Twitter. Let's see if we got anything else here going on. Not seeing too much new stuff here. Seeing a bunch of the Pirates beat writers in Altoona instead of covering the Pirates themselves. Do not blame them whatsoever. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that will do it here for this evening. Just one extra, couple extra comments here. People here saying that, but not the brass. Still talking about your things here. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to wrap things up here for the week. One final time, if you are new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live or upload a video again. Still holding steady at 547 subscribers. That is all right. We will see if we can break 550 on Sunday for our live stream, Steelers versus Patriots. But until then, thank you all. Have a good rest of your Friday night. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, like, share, and comment on this video. Go check out the channel on the following social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and X. And forget that extra part, no SCSR60 tonight. Just go enjoy the rest of your Friday. We're going to have to recoup ourselves quite a bit heading into this must-win game for the black and gold on Sunday. Thank you. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. See you back here on Sunday for instant reactions and commentary to the Steelers versus Patriots. See you then. Peace.